He's going to have to pick up the wickets. Time for a single. To the bottom of the bat, really. Pace off, scooped, chance, put down for 4. There was the sun. We said it, it's going to be tough for Milan out there. Low sun. Behind the pavilion, behind us. I don't feel like much of an excuse for Helm at the moment, though.
Put a bit down the sun. He just seemed to get in a horrible position with that. That's a catch that should have been taken, I'm afraid. I know you can mention the sun, but just got in a horrible position to try and catch it.
Drop, followed by 6. It's an unwritten rule in cricket, isn't it? Cook moves to 67, 177 for 3. 11 off the start of Helm's over. Into the slot, a little bit of width to free up those arms. Yeah, he went at it Milan with fingers pointing to the sky and with the ball always dipping on him. Just slipped down out of those hands where instead it needed perhaps the bucket. Misjudgment from Middlesex's overseas. Costly to the tune of 10 runs. How much more? Width again, goes up in the air again, hands to the sky to block the sun, this time for Anderson, who tries to flick it back in, he can't. He's been outstanding in the field so far, Anderson. Helm will mutter to himself, no doubt, as that ball squirts through. Toe end of the bat, scooped. Edge flying fine. 15 off the over, 2 to go of it.
Well, Helm will feel a bit disgruntled here. A couple of misfields on the boundary have cost him 6 runs.
Width again. 6. Oh, dearie me, mind yourself, sir. Goodness me. Unfortunately, it wasn't the fellow with the pint. It'll be no laughing matter to Helm, though. 21 off the over, 1 to come off it.
This innings partnership is no laughing matter for Middlesex. It's grabbed hold of this game and taken it away. Is that a good effort or a stupid effort? I'm not quite sure. People around him won't be too happy if knock the beer all over them on an evening like this, but admire his gallantry.
Slow ball, slapped hard. Slapped hard into the gap as well. All the way along the matting to the pavilion. 25 off the 18th. And that with a drop second ball. Tough over for Helm. Tough over for Middlesex. 191 for 3. 12 balls to go. Where does this innings go now? For that man Ingram. Cook as well.
Well, one of these two might be eyeing up 100. Change the game completely, suggesting one stage 180, 200, could be 210. No, it could be even more than that if the last over is anything to go by.
Empted Yorker, low full toss, just drags for a single. Ingram moves to 79. Cook on to strike on 81. Both of these will just be thinking every ball goes now. And one of them may well go to 3 figures. A run fest at Merchant Taylor School. Low full toss again, just squirts in front of mid-wicket, and they'll be able to get back for 2. Fielder in the deep out at cow corner was Peter Milan. Ten balls to go. Low full toss again, up in the air, and 1 bounce. Oh, disagreement between the fielder and the umpire. Fielder's given it as 4, umpire's given it as 6. Umpire's changed his mind. May have felt as though he was in with a chance for a moment. Max Holden coming around. Pretty close to the rope. One bounce to Holman. For a moment, he'd have thought about the catch. Higgins looks out ruefully. 50 up for Higgins. None for 50 off 3.4. $199 for 3. Low full toss in the air again. Gone again. Holden at long on. It's just too juicy, that one. Wasn't that low. Into the arc for Ingram. Around the wicket as well. 85 Ingram, 88 Cook, 7 balls to go. Who wants it of these two? 200 up for Glamorgan. It looked an interesting call at 2 down in the power play. 51 for 3, just out of it. 154 runs later, though. $160 runs later. Ingram's on to 91 from 50 deliveries. 6 deliveries left.
Well, Middlesex have not been able to come up with any answers, have they? 2 Glamorgan batsmen came together, 51 for 3. Glamorgan in trouble. 160 runs they've added. And a total of 220 plus is what Middlesex are going to have to chase down here. So Glamorgan batters have struck the ball beautifully on this fast scoring ground, but equally the challenge for Middlesex as a bowling side is to come up with something to challenge that, and everything they've tried to do has come short. Hence 91 and 88 against the 2 batters' names. 88 of 36 balls.
That's gone. That's gone a very, very long way. No 2 ways about it. They are going to slap and slap hard here. Slapping square of the wicket. Cook's on to 94.
The beautiful thing about that, he's not committed, has he? It's a slower ball from Helm, but he's just sat there, waited, and then swatted the ball beautifully over deep mid-wicket. This ball's just made a fantastic noise when it's hit these 2 batters' bats.
100 up Cook goes to 100 from 38 deliveries. What a recovery. What an innings from 51 for 3. These two have powered Glamorgan to a huge score at Northwood. And Middlesex are going to have their work cut out to turn this one around.
No, it's been a stunning display. Was just saying at the start of his innings. Again, there wasn't any. I mean, that's not a wild slog. That's a controlled hit. The ball's in the slot, and he's just smoted it over deep mid wicket. Beautiful striking of a cricket ball. Middlesex sitting quite pretty at the halfway stage. Glamorgan on about 70 odd. Last 10 overs have gone for 15 and over by the look of it, if my maths is right.
Just a single down to long off. Well, anything Cook can do. Was there any thought of the second there? Cook's gone to 101. His first T20 century, surpassing the 72, his previous highest score. So 1 century in 6 50s and 122 innings for the birthday boy of yesterday. Over to Ingram. 9 needed for him. 3 balls left. Helm as good a death ball bowler as there is around. It's going to be a wide. Whether he took a moment's pause or he was just watching the keeper to make sure it was gathered cleanly and the ball was dead, but comfortable wide. 225 for 3. That'll ease Ingram a little. Gave him a little look. He's still got 3 to swing at. Comfortably surpassed the highest score here previously. 198 for 2 in the first blast fixture. Just be a single, will it? They're going to think 2. They're going to not get back for it. There'll be no century for Ingram. He moves to 92. 226 for 3. Well, Cook's been hitting them cleaner. Fair play to Colin Ingram. Team game, not an individual one. Eases that single. Cook 101 for 39. Up in the air this time, and that one should go. Oh no, it's gone all the way. Wow, hasn't he got hold of that? Holding the fielder at long on. Thought he'd got underneath it too much. It's another 6 for Cook.
Well, even the miss hits are going. Drag that from wideish of mid-off. Just got enough on it to clean, but Helm's figures here 63. And his first couple of overs didn't go for many. So he's been punished severely.
And that goes as well. They just kept coming for Glamorgan, and it's a massive 6 to finish. Cook moves to 113, Ingram 92. There was trouble for Glamorgan in the 7th when they came together at 51 for 3. But boy oh boy, did they put to bed any doubts about winning the toss and batting.
Stunning display of batting by those two Glamorgan batters. Put Middlesex to the sword completely. They said at the halfway stage, maybe mid-70s. 160 runs scored in the last 10 overs. 16 and over, and quite rightly, both of these players getting a standing ovation from their teammates as they walk off. Middlesex at the halfway point would have thinking we're doing quite well here, but the attack has just been torn apart by some wonderful striking. Again, the bowler's inability to check that. You've got to find ways, haven't you, whether it's slower balls, Yorkers, whatever you're doing, you've got to try and find something to limit such destructive stroke play. But Middlesex have been unable to do that. And another game they're going to have to play very well to win.
Second highest score by Glamorgan, both against London counties. 240 for 3 at the Oval in 2015, Glamorgan's previous highest. So a couple of runs shy of that. What an innings by Cook. 113 for him. England 92. Middlesex just not able to find the answer. That shot by Milan. Well, we'll evaluate that as the as the chase goes on here at Northwood. For a moment on the live stream, though, for myself, Kevin Hand and Angus Fraser, will take a break. Join you back in just a couple of minutes, where Middlesex have been set 239 to win. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Merchant Taylor's School. 239 is the target for the Middlesex batting lineup, who have their work cut out here against a Glamorgan side who were in the moods, setting that total 51 for 3 to 238 for 3. An astonishing display of hitting from Cook and Ingram, who over the years has done so much damage to Middlesex with a bat. He's done plenty of damage again today, but a maiden T20 century for Cook, who turned 37 yesterday. Quite the present he's given to Glamorgan tonight. 229 for 9, Middlesex's highest first-class highest T20 score previously. That at Radlett against Gloucestershire in 2022. They've got to go 10 better tonight if they are to pick up their first win of the group stage. Stephen Eskenazi called wrong at the toss, whether he'd have batted first, whether he'd have bowled first. Either way, he and Joe Cracknell are going to have to come up with something pretty special at the start here for Middlesex in the power play. I'm Kevin Hand alongside me, Angus Fraser.
Evening. Still recovering from that. Difficult to know what to say when you see the ball. I mean, it's wonderful striking of the ball, to hit the ball consistently that well. I mean, whilst the boundaries here, actually they're decent sized boundaries. They're not sort of, it's not a pokey little ground this by any stretch of the imagination.
First ball's a single.
You just sit here and consistently see the ball hit the middle of the bat and fly over the boundary. It's sort of, I mean, there's admiration for the striking of the ball, but it's also frustration from Middlesex perspective that they've let what was a decent position slip alarmingly.
Tickled, gets through. Well, that will help. They're going to need some help, you'd imagine, Middlesex. There was a helping hand from Milan on the boundary. Cracknell off the mark with a boundary himself.
Yeah, Middlesex get anywhere near this, they've got to get going. I feel there's got to be a few little bits of fortune like that's got to go their way. Not a great bounce there for the fielder.
Tight bowling. Cracknell doesn't get that one through. See what he's trying to do is chop down hard in it. Very much a Paul Sterling shot of old, that one. Just a punch through the offside. Cracknell unable to penetrate the field. Sung away. 4 more for Cracknell. I don't think he's going to leave anyone in any doubt in this power play how he's going to go about it.
So again, Middlesex can't look to sort of repeat what Glamorgan did, which was didn't quite get the. I've sort of said it around 70 odd on a couple of occasions here at the halfway stage, but Middlesex are going to need to be over 100.
McRoy onto the pads, a leg by again. 10 off the first 5. Only 13 on the board at the end of the first 2 overs for Glamorgan. Blake Cullen finishing with figures 4 for 23, 4 overs, 23 runs and a couple of wickets, but bowled out.
I think we can forget those first couple of overs now. They seem pretty irrelevant when 238's on the board.
Well, nearly nutmegged himself. Eskenazi had to get the foot out of the way on that one. Went for the scoop. McElroy followed him. Well bowled. 10 off the first.
So a good start by Middlesex, but they're going to have to do something similar. Well, something more in every over. And it's a question of sort of how. You can't give yourself much time to get yourself in. You've got to go pretty much from the word go. But even so, you've seen the nature of this surface. The ball's come on beautifully. The ball's made a lovely sound when it struck the bat. Fast outfield, so you do want to give yourself a couple of balls just to sort of try and get used to things. But Mr. Podmore for Middlesex
Oh, through it goes. First ball.
Player. Harry, lovely lad. Went to Kent from Middlesex. Now ended up in Wales. Very popular, not just around the Middlesex team, I think very popular around the members as well. A Middlesex boy through and through, brought up in Acton. Played at Ealing. Has obviously done well at Kent, but he's been swatted for 4 there by Cracknell, so no doubts going to be on the front foot. And the love that the tide has for him will disappear, and they'll be wanting to destroy his evening at Merchant Taylor's School. We'll see who comes out on top.
Finest down for Middlesex down at Taunton. Just a single. Sweepers out there. See what Cracknell was trying to do. Can get it fine of him. Back to 7. Down at Taunton and a victory down there. A bit of a green top. No Finn. No Roland Jones. And at the very last minute, Chris Rogers realised no Mercer either. Where's Mercer? Playing for Ireland. Right, we're moving track. Quite the story that one was.
Yeah, I was pretty angry that day.
I was just going to say, I won't ask you to repeat what you said when I saw you that morning, Gus. Leg by Taken. Mixing up the pace.
The one thing here for Middlesex's batters is not trying to hit the ball too hard. We saw the striking of Ingram and Cook, and they weren't hitting the ball hard. They just got the bodies in good position, held the stroke, and found the middle of the bat. So that's the danger sometimes. You don't get any more than 6 for hitting it over the boundary. You don't get 10 for hitting it over the crowd.
Will be wide. I think that's as well, extraordinary to say. I think that's as many leg byes as certainly by the 17th over or so when we marked the first wide of the Middlesex innings. Leg by in the first, a leg by in the second, and now wide. 4 wides, all innings. Sorry, 4 byes. Get there in the end, 4 extras in that entire innings. Cry of catch it, but Cracknell got hold of that one nicely. 4 more for him. Followed him, leg side.
Very matching Cracknell's arc, that, isn't it? Looks to sort of get low, pull upwards. Looking for that fine leg boundary. Looking for 6s, really. 4 will do.
Cry catch, that's a good stop. Leg by signal though. Cracknell remains on 17. Eskenazi is on 1 from 3. Podmore goes for 10 for his opening over. A couple of leg byes as well though. 22 without loss after 2.
Yeah, so most games excellent start by Middlesex. Delighted with the first 2 overs. But when you consider that the run rate's gone up after 2 excellent overs, it shows the size of the task facing not just these 2 but the rest of the Middlesex batting lineup. But got to go out there with optimism, confidence, believing you can do it. Chance to make a name for yourself.
Oh, it gets through the field, just a single. He nearly got away with it, McElroy. Well, he did get away with it in a way. A wide full toss. Cracknell just left stretching for it slightly, meant he couldn't get that placement. Picked out the fielder. Yeah, extraordinary to say 238 on the board, and there are only 4 extras in that. Usually you think there's a couple of no balls and free hits that have flown as well. Missed time, but 4 runs. Swinging hard at that one, Eskenazi. His first boundary.
One thing, T20 cricket back at Merchant Taylor School, no shortage of action, that's for sure. No matter what happens, the people that turned up to the 2 games have been well entertained.
That's hit, calls a catch. Oh, misfield again from Glamorgan. Well, if they can take it as close tonight, Middlesex will certainly be entertained. Although I'd imagine they'll be just as deflated if they fall short, no matter how close they come this evening. Slow ball, well bowled. 6 off the over so far, 2 to come of it. I'm sure need will Cracknell feel here in these final 2 deliveries of the over. Let's try and find the boundary. It'll be wide as well. That goes as a cry catch. Root underneath it, but off the bat, there was only one outcome there, surely. And 6 it is. Cracknell's on to 24 from 12. Middlesex getting in on the act now.
Yeah, excellent shot there by Cracknell. Fetched that from outside off stump. Ball got up there in the wind. Safely carried over the deep square leg fielder's head. Middlesex's first 6. First of many, we hope.
Oh, that's hit hard. That was a projectile. Watch out, kids in the background playing their own little game out there. That would have ramped hard. Low trajectory. Powerful shot by Cracknell.
We were saying before, it's been an excellent start by Middlesex after 2 overs. Even better after 3. 39. 13 and over. Head of the rate. On target. Long way to go. Just need 200 now. Sodia into the tack. Not been to, I say, in my previous position, travel down to Cardiff very often to watch 2020s, but I just remember this lad getting a few wickets against us.
Oh, that gets through. Sweep hard from outside the off stump, Eskinazi. Banjak's the keeper. Can forgive Cook for being a little bit tired, perhaps. 113 runs in. That's through. Eskinazi, second boundary. Middlesex 47 without loss. This is a solid start from the hosts. As you mentioned, Middlesex do well to mind their work, not go too hard at it, but I saw a few of the faces outside of the pavilion in the interval. It's going to be an angry side, Middlesex, in this chase, you'd imagine. Outside the line of off. Mainly bowlers, that's all, to be fair, with the angry faces, but you can imagine they'll be pumped for this. They won't be happy. 3 defeats to start. That was a pretty angry skipper who gave the interviews the other evening after the Gloucestershire defeat. Cry catch again, but it was swept hard and placed well. 4 more and 50 up for Middlesex.
Yeah, 50 in the 4th over, so facing this huge target, Middlesex made a excellent start. Just watching Cracknell bat, he gets very low, doesn't he? It's almost in a very powerful sort of crouch position to hit the ball.
I was going to ask, who does he remind you of in that sense, Cracknell, but it's quite a hard question because he's your archetypal modern day batter, isn't he, Cracknell, especially T20?
Couple of shots there. I mean, obviously a better player at spin than the person I'm thinking of, but a bit like Robin Smith at times, the way that he gets down low to play those shots.
Cut like Smith. That's his favourite shot. The Hampshireman, wasn't it? Cracknell's on to 36. Middlesex end of the fourth, 56 without loss.
Well, it's been a remarkable start here by Middlesex. Wonderful batting by Joe Cracknell. Pleased for him. Sort of big summer for him. Get some runs. Shown potential for the club. Had a quieter T20 last year, but there's definitely something there. Big innings today help him sort of feel that not that he lacks self-confidence, as you saw when he took that catch the other day, or the fact that he even went for that catch, but help him feel that he's arrived.
Southwaite into the attack. James McElroy, number 26 from his two so far. Podmore's first over, going for 10. Sodge's first, going for 16. My apologies, 12. Scoreboard updating in front of me. Good slower ball.
There's 4 byes in the over as well, weren't they? Which is why I went for 16.
Thanks for making me look good, Gus. He gets through. They might think about 2 here. No, it's not pierced enough. Over to Cracknell. I would say if Cracknell is probably going back to, but even Darvin Milan, got that century in 2008, but Cracknell's probably the most exciting young T20 batter coming through at Middlesex. Back to Paul Sterling, again a product of Middlesex cricket, but Irish cricket as well. Owen Morgan likewise. Chipped nicely. Kicks on down the hill to the lake ends. Cracknell's on to 40.
Cracknell, product of North Middlesex cricket. So, club on Moswell Hill, Shepherd's Cot. Wonderful sight when you look at an aerial view of it, all the cricket grounds together. Scored many runs at North Mid. Showing his talent today.
Slow ball bouncer, swatted down to long leg for a single. It's on to 41, Cracknell. 6 off the over, last ball for Eskenazi's face. Unit charge, I think about 2, but very much bottom part of the bat. As Eskenazi pulls it into the onside for a single to end the over. 5 gone, 63 without loss. Just the start Middlesex needed. They need an awful lot more to come. Probably one of these two to go all the way.
Well, you say full credit to these two. After watching the bowling attack get flogged around this ground, easy to come out with a sort of defeatist attitude. But certainly Cracknell, Eskenazi yet to get going. I think maybe has tried to hit the ball too hard on a couple of occasions, but they've come out and given Middlesex a wonderful start. Is 63, so up with the run rate.
Prior to that single off the last ball that Cracknell faced, was fancying the quickest Middlesex 50, if that would be in sight. It won't now. It was 18 balls by Henderson. Eskenazi steps across and slaps that one hard. That's well placed. 2 out there in the deep. Ramps up. Middlesex ramping up the runs. Slower ball from Podmore, and Eskenazi on this occasion probably quite grateful that was a slower ball.
Yeah, a long way to go. I'll ask you, normally asking me questions. At what stage did Glamorgan start getting a bit worried?
234.
With an over to go.
It's another boundary. Oh, is it? Yes, yes, it is. 4-4. Come on's the cry from the crowds. Should we be the TV umpires?
In Glamorgan, you might have got away with that, but crowd here, home crowd. Yeah, he's fallen on the rope and touched the ball at the same time. So a great effort there by the fielder, but on this occasion unable to stop the boundary.
That's a lovely, lovely stroke by Stephen Eskenazi. He's on to 24. Middlesex is 75 without loss, and that is, well, quite possibly the best of the lot so far.
Maybe.
Taking the sixes out of it.
Yeah, but a classy shot again. Just to watch the ball onto the bat, get good bat on it, find the gap, trust the outfield. So Eskenazi has been the junior partner in this partnership, but 3 boundaries in this over. Starting to find his feet.
Oh, bottom edge. Gets past the leg stump, gets past Cook, not past short fine leg though.
So last ball of the power play. 6 overs at the start of the innings when only 2 fielders were allowed outside the 30-yard circle. It's one of the better power plays that Middlesex have had in T20 cricket. 76 without loss. Does Cracknell complete the power play or look to get his side up to a number with an 8 at the start of it?
Clip fine of the deep backward square leg. Should just be a single though it is. End of the power play. Cracknell 42, Eskenazi 25. Middlesex chasing 239.
So Glamorgan now allowed to put another 3 fielders out on the boundary. That's going to be more of a risk trying to hit those 4s and 6s. This hat's a glue. Is it glue? Australian spinner.
I was going to say it in an Aussie accent.
Fair income.
Interesting run up. Plenty to think about just while he's flipping that ball from hands to hands. It's ugly, mate. Oh, use of the feet. Inside edge saves him. 3 dot balls to start up. Need to get 2 down on a little bit of a stall, a little bit of a slow down here. He's giving himself and his side a brilliant platform. How many times does he go at it before he actually starts running? Look for 2. Back they come. Throws to the keeper's end and Cracknell's back. He's on to 44.
Yeah, just looking at Hatzaglu's sort of preparation there. Certainly making every ball an event.
Over 8 could be in trouble here, couldn't it?
No. Still, look at that. tent.
Reverse. Gets it away beautifully, Cracknell. He's on to 48. Looks like he's winding up the jack in the box, isn't he? Ready to go before he bowls. Oh, now it's going to be close, is it? Not out. Pick up the leg bite. Have a look at the replay on that one at the end of the over. 7 gone. Would have been close, that. 83 without loss.
Yeah, pretty good over there by Hatzaglu. Yeah, just maybe sliding down the leg side. Just watching that over. I think he's going to be a challenge for Middlesex's batters, needing to score 12 runs and over off. Well, you don't have to score 12 runs and over of everybody. You need 12 runs and over overall. But you can't afford 3 cheap overs against any of their bowlers.
Reverse again. There's the 50 for Cracknell. 26 deliveries, 52 runs. And well, if he's done anything, is at least put a few smiles on faces and relaxed a few nerves out there. A stunning catch the other day in a losing performance for Middlesex. He's given them the perfect foundation here in a very tricky chase.
Yes, stunning innings from the young man. Middlesex will be hoping that he's around in another 7 overs time.
Wow. That's been Cracknell's 58 for the Middlesex opener. When he gets going, Cracknell, he's one of the most exciting young prospects to come through Middlesex at the bat in T20. It's fine at the fielder, but should... tumbling stop. They will get back for the second. He's on to 60 from 28.
That's good running, that too. Putting the fielder under pressure. It's a good outfield here, but a few little bumps and make it difficult for the fielder to attack the ball.
It's a single down to long off. 13 off the over, 2 to come of it. Eskenazi still only faced 17 deliveries. Oh, yes, no, the throw goes in, the throw misses. No buzzers on this one either. That may have been tight. Cracknell's on to 62, Eskenazi's 26, end of the 8th. Middlesex, 99 without loss. Sunny evening at Merchant Taylor's, look at that. It was a slow start, as we mentioned, those first couple of overs, but they were 51 for 3 after 7. Then came the partnership, and look at the acceleration at the end.
I'd have thought that worm should be a bit steeper than that when you look at it, don't you, really? Because of the amount of runs that were scored in that last 5 overs. I suppose an angle of 45 degrees is a quite steep one, isn't it?
You used the word in the, it was the a well-paced innings, and that was before that last little jolt. Bowls him. Or has he? It's the stump him. Not out. How was that not bowled in? That must have... You got the replay from the other end, bud? No, mind you, where's it? Keeper's back. Don't worry about it. Nice use of the feet. Nice connection. Very nice shot to bring up the century for Middlesex. 105 Middlesex are in the 9th. Cracknell powering through the runs now on 68.
Again, that's a magnificent stroke. He's not really tried to overhit it, is he? Just made sure, stayed down on the ball, watched it onto the bat. Beautiful shot for youngsters to watch and try to emulate.
Through for the single. Throws squirted back in quickly, but it was always one. 69 for Cracknell. Eskenazi 26. Yeah, I was going to mention the quickest 50 for Middlesex. It was 19. Tyrone Henderson and O.A. Shah both doing it. 19 balls faced. Eskenazi sweeps hard. Root comes around. Deep backward square leg as well on the move. Yeah, Cracknell, after 17, he was within sight of equaling them. But a single off his 18th ball, leaving him on 42.
Yeah, exactly.
24 years of age now, Peter Hatsoglu. Oh, crunched over cover. Eskenazi into the 30s, end of the 9th. Middlesex 112 without loss.
Well, it's a stunning over for Middlesex. A 6 and a 4, that would have been a wide probably, but he could be stumped off a wide. So just as well that Eskenazi managed to reach that delivery. But Middlesex, unbelievable, scoring at 112 without loss after 9. But they've got to keep this going. It just shows the size of the task that faces them. But they've given themselves a wonderful chance of producing something remarkable.
Yeah, in that innings 238, you think that Blake Cullen only went for 23 off his 4 overs. They were right at the top of the innings though, bowled out quite early on. Or bowls. Cracknell steps across, a Yorker, wide Yorker thrown in. Just the single out deep mid-wicket. Strike rate just below 200. Eskenazi 155. His strike rate 31 from 20. Steps across, scoops it. That's classic Eskenazi. Up and over the keeper. He's on 35.
Eskenazi wondering whether that was a no ball over waist height. Don't think it was. Not far away though. Certainly above the knee. Probably below the hip.
Oh, goodness me. That could have gone anywhere. probably would have been a wide, but bottom edge on the sweep, past the stumps, past the keeper, 4 more.
If you're on an England tour now, they'd be playing a bit of Bon Jovi, wouldn't they? Halfway there. Living on a prayer. A bit like that, isn't it?
It felt like a wing and a prayer at the start of this chase, but what a start it's been. It's driven hard, driven square, and driven for 4. That's one of the shots of the innings so far. Eskenazi's on to 43.
That's a beautiful shot there. Again, just length on the ball, not try to overhit it. Waited for it to arrive and placed it beautifully.
Again, that would have been a wide. It's driven hard and it's driven for 4 more, is it? Yes, it does. Just beat Roots. Valiant effort on the boundary rope. Just beats the man. Eskenazi's on to 47. Middlesex are on to 129 without loss at the end of the 10th. Glamorgan was 78 for 3.
I don't know where to start, do you? It's just ridiculously good cricket from both sides. Cracknell with a smile on his face. How did, what did you say, Glamorgan was? 78 for 3. So they got 160 in their last 10 overs. Middlesex just need the small matter of 110.
I was going to say, T10 standards, it's a pretty modest chase now. The ridiculous nature of modern day cricket. It's a fantastic start, but that's all it is for Middlesex still. It's a big, big chase to keep this going. Glamorgan will know just 1 wicket, certainly 2, will slow things down, and then all of a sudden pressure builds quickly. That's a gorgeous shot. The back of the Benham End here at Merchant Taylor School.
As you said, that's going to be the challenge for Middlesex, is if this partnership is broken, new batters coming in and scoring at the same rate.
It's hit in the air, but mistimed by Cracknell. Root the fielder. I did ask Dave Fulton in the background there about his position in the trees. Oh, scooped again. Goodness me, he's done it well. He's done it really, really well. And Stephen Eskenazi moves to 50 from 25 deliveries. Well, the captain's watch done, as one of his main men have done it at the other end so far. 134 this partnership. They came out looking to mean business. Mean business they have. Skipper's helping to lead from the front. Middlesex are on the front foot for sure.
He's almost scored a run of ball for his first 10 or 12 runs, but shows the acceleration. 4 boundaries in the last over. 5, I think, is it last 5 balls for 4 now. And
that's in the air. Cry a catch,
one.
But it's fine of the fielder, wide of the fielder indeed. He's on to 55 from 26.
I don't think he was even really trying to hit that. He was just almost guiding it for a single, sweeping the seamer, but a top edge, and it only landed about 2 yards in front of the boundary, so plenty of pace on the ball, using the wind.
It's exactly what you said from the off. Don't go at it too hard out there. He steps outside the line of off. Unless there was a little inside tickle on it, there's nothing to have there, but Podmore will certainly ask the question. Well, I said it was an angry-looking Middlesex in the interval, angry at themselves, and they went out angry with the bat. Just see that frustrating starting to grow for Glamorgan now. Cook, what a century from him, his first in T20 cricket. Fulton's answer, as you can see there, that little silhouette on him. He said it's a bit warmer out the back with the sun on your back. PA at the ground tonight, the former Kent captain. Hold it, the cry from Roots, just out in front of us. No need for overthrows on the leg by.
Well, Middlesex need under 100, which is a remarkable position for them to find themselves in, with just 11 overs of the innings gone.
I mean, it may not happen, but the remarkable thing is that that run rate's brought below 10 and over. It's just extraordinary in a chase of this magnitude. Just a single to Roots. 11 gone. 140 on the board for Middlesex. Run rate's 11 and over. But yeah, if they were to bring it down to single figures, it would be an extraordinary achievement.
Well, if they get it down to single figures, it's... Well, you could argue with what's taken place in the previous 11 overs, this is gettable now, but it's still going to take some remarkable hitting to get Middlesex over the line. But yeah, if that required run rate does get below 10, they're in, well, considering what's taken place to date, you say they're very much in this match. I'm trying to...
Don't say it. Whatever you think can say, don't say it.
Hats a go glue is bad. I'm trying to remember. That's it. Hats a glow. Hats a glue. Sorry about that.
I thought you were trying to stick clear of an hyperbole.
I was trying to remember how to pronounce. You pronounced it well. You got the rhythm of it. It's a rhythm of a...
Hatsoglu.
Hatsoglu, that's it.
I had to practice it in Australia the first few times.
Got it now. Hatsoglu.
Dave Fulton did ask me before the start of the match, how do you pronounce the Glamorgan overseas? Ingram. Can't tell you what I was called for saying that. Not on air anyway. Nice shot again. Root will hold them to a single. No, they're going to go for two. Back they come. That's excellent. Pressure put on the fields.
Excellent running there by Middlesex, by Cracknell. He's the instigator there. Slightly younger, quicker man. Just going back to names, it's interesting. I spent 2 winters when I was young in New Zealand, and obviously a lot of Maori names over there. And once you get the rhythm of a, so like you look at a word and how do you, it's Paikokoriki or Pardonui, Wahiki, and all. And it sort of once you get a sort of flow for the how the language or how the names are pronounced, you sort of can make a decent stab at pronouncing the words Porirua.
Think about two, just be the one. That's crashed hard, but just a single again. 4 off the over though, but the pressure is on the bowling side at the moment. Doesn't make it any easier out in the middle for Cracknell and Eskenazi. Dragged wide of the field, a bit of a missed hit. They'll think about two, they'll settle on one. He was run out in the opening over of Middlesex's first innings of the T20 this year, wasn't he, Stephen Eskenazi? Certainly no need for a run out at this stage here. Two very well set batters.
Pretty good over to date though for Glamorgan. Just the 5 runs off 4 deliveries.
Well, you're saying Middlesex can't really afford 3 or 4 cheap overs against anybody in this chase. He's gone for 24 off 2.4 now. They'll feel he's just got a bit of mystery about him, hasn't he? Much to do with that run-up as anything else, I think. Down the track and crunched hard to cover for a single. 6 off the over. Run rate remains in control though. They'll bowl him out, Hatzoglu, because they'll see that he possesses that threat. Oh, has he? Yes, he has. Cracknell's gone for 77. Glamorgan needed that to make a game of this. They were powering their way through Middlesex. Cracknell 77 from 41 deliveries, an incredible 42 deliveries in the end, an incredible innings from him. It's given Middlesex a chance of what would be a stunning chase if they pull it off here. But Hatzoglu manages to pick up Cracknell.
Well, Hatzoglu pushing it down at a decent pace. And, well, it's difficult to see from the angle here, but the heel of his foot is definitely up. It's just a question of whether there's a spike or two behind that line. But umpire, square leg umpire, much better view than us, able to make that decision. So Cracknell leaves the field disappointed, but he's played a stunning innings there and given Middlesex it's still an outside chance, but at least they've got a chance after 12 overs. Run rate of 12 and over, required rate 11, just over 11 and a half. So all that good work has got to continue. But just playing the reverse route, they're looking to use the pace of the bowler, really pushing it through. If you get something on it, get it up in the air, you'll get it over those fielders on the short third boundary and away for 4.
Oh dear. Oh, they've got away with it. Goodness me. Very nearly a run out. A misfield. And the misjudgment is not punished.
Well, the big thing, I mean, Middlesex has got plenty of batting, but the big thing about wickets is it's dot balls. So Middlesex lose 5 wickets. That's 5 more dot balls, isn't it? Which is something you can afford to have at this stage.
Just a single. I was going to ask you this when the pair were together before, but almost the mindset of the incoming batter now. With Eskenazi there on 59 from 32, there's almost an onus on the batter at the other end to just get going, isn't there, and not let the pressure put on Eskenazi, because Middlesex can't lose him.
No, they definitely don't want to have 2 batters out there with single-figure scores to their name. So, yeah, Max Holden has got to get moving quickly.
Sweeps that one in the air. Cry catch. It's fine of the fielder, though, and they'll get back for 2. 149 for 1. Let's play in spin, Holden. 3 deliveries here. Let's have a look at Sadia. There's the early reverse from Holden. He fancied it had come. It's just a single. Favoured shot of his. He's not afraid of bringing it out early on. 150 up for Middlesex in the 13th. Oh, he's reversed straight to the fielder. He's held on at the second attempt. Eskenazi's gone for 59. 150 for 2. The 2 set batters out in consecutive overs. And this is where it becomes game on for Middlesex. Glamorgan right back in it now.
It is, and you can see the excitement in the Glamorgan fielders. Shows that Middlesex well in this match. But that's a huge wicket for Glamorgan. Eskenazi batted beautifully again. And both Middlesex's in-batsmen fall in 3 or 4 balls. And it's now down to fresher players to come out and strike the ball like Ingram and Cook did. Just watching the way that the Glamorgan batsman played, and a few times playing shots similar, the ball goes in the air through the gap. You can get away with it some of the time, but you don't get away with it all of the time. So Peter Milan, who's played well in this competition to date, and needs to come in and play similar innings to that he played at Hampshire the other night.
Right-handed, left-handed combo. Plenty of experience at one end. a stroke down the ground for a single to get off from Milan. That's a lot of experience there from him. He won't panic, Milan. 33 years of age now. Wicket in the over, 151 for 2. Wickets in consecutive overs for Glamorgan. Eskenazi reverse sweep him. Over to Holden and Milan. Milan, who scored, what was it, 80 in the second game at Southampton, 30 in the first game at Lords against Surrey, just 2 the other day against Gloucestershire. As that chase looked to go wrong. Good start, good opening stance, then 4 quick wickets, then another partnership that looked to have won it for Middlesex. 12 to win off the last 12 it was against Gloucestershire, and Middlesex fell short. Required rate moves back up to 12.5 now. Leg side and wide.
Another ball, when you see those, you always think it'd be nice if it went through the keeper. 5 wides. Gets the over off to a good start.
From a certain point of view. Just be a single. Root sweeping up at cover.
I think Holden's got to look for this boundary over here, deep mid-wicket, where we're sat. Wind assisted. I know it's the longest boundary on the ground, but needs to strike the ball in the same way that Ingram did on a few occasions at the end of his innings, using the wind to help him.
Holden didn't have to wait too long to get in the act. He's got hold of that one. 6 for Middlesex's number 3. His first boundary.
In the slot there from Podmore, tried to follow him a little bit, but didn't get it full enough. Holden enough room to get under the ball, clout it into the artificial net area.
Thinking to just the single, holding on to 10. Required rate just pushed back down to 12 momentarily. It's like watching the stock exchange at the moment, isn't it?
I don't know. I haven't got anything to put in the stock exchange. But you almost did a 6 and over, don't you? That's what you're looking at. 2 4s or a 6 and over.
So our ball manoeuvred by Milan for a single. Bags of experience, got that 80 in his test debut against England, just 3 tests for South Africa. A little unlucky, 84 it was in the second innings of the second test on debut. Up against Broad and Anderson, averaged 26 in test cricket. A little unlucky that was his only look against Broad and Anderson at the test arena. Reverse again from Holden. Glamorgan will very much have done their homework. They'll know that for Holden that's a key shot of his.
Boundary here, Middlesex need. 11 off the over to date. Hats of Glue's still got 1 over left.
Wait, dot ball. 11 off the over. 162 for 2. Holden's have strike.
Podmore finishes his spell. This will be a ground where he played lots of youth team cricket on the Middlesex Academy, but it's not been his day today. 46 of his 4 overs. So that's about the going rate, isn't it? What Middlesex require, just under 12s. Where's Holden going to look to try to hit Cisadia? Going to have to find the boundary a couple of times in this over, you feel?
Oh, now swung up into the air and taken. Byron, what a catch! 2 games in 3 days and 2 absolute worldies in the fields. He's held on to it. Holden looks at the toe end of his bat. That's an incredible catch by Byron. Almost had no right to take that in the end. It was so close to clearing him. Stunner.
Made it a good catch. I'll question you there just because I think he's misjudged that slightly, but he's corrected himself and he has taken a stunning catch in the end, but a bit of better judgment maybe made that look a little bit easier. But I suppose again the sun's slightly in his eyes. The sun's behind us at this end. Maybe could have caused some of that misjudgment, but yeah, done exceptionally well there to hang on to that. Middlesex lose their 3rd wicket. It's another dot ball, and the pressure increases on each of the players that come in.
Keep the right-handed, left-handed going, so they go to young Holman. Jack Davis is in for John Simpson in this game, another left-hander. Ryan Higgins still to come as well, Martin Anderson. They do bat down a fair way, this Middlesex T20 side. Oh, reverse first up, gets through. Will it go for 4? It's up the hill at the Benham end, so they'll have a chance of stopping this, but he won't. He'll roll over the ropes with it. Middlesex needed that. We wouldn't have thought we were saying this a few overs ago. Middlesex needing every little they can find. Glamorgan just pushing their noses in front again here at Merchant Taylor's School. 166 for 3. Holman a big sigh of relief as that one got through in many ways, I'd imagine. Looks for the reverse again, straight to the fielder. Swept hard in the air and put down. Or was it? Was it held? I think there's a bit of confusion as to whether it was or it wasn't. Down is my first thought. There was 1 or 2 in the Glamorgan field who went up with it.
That was a brilliant effort. That if he'd have held on to that, been an absolutely stunning catch. Might get a view of it in a moment after this delivery.
There were 1 or 2 fielders who went up thinking it was a catch. Single again. The 4 byes helping a little in this over, but that wicket first ball.
Middlesex need a boundary. Look at that run rate, getting up to nearly 14 and over.
It's leg side and a wide. Stepped across, says the umpire. Looks a little harsh on me. Step across he did, but it was still...
Just missing leg stump, it's still a wide. This is that catch again. Just look at the fielder diving. It's a really good stop. I mean, that would have been a stunning catch had he held on to it, but he'll be disappointed. But he saved his side 3 runs there, that's for sure.
Nearly hats off for Hatsoglu. I'll get my coat. .158 for 3, end of the 15th.
So 71 runs required off 5 overs. It's going to take some good hitting.
That's very well bowled to begin the over from Douthwaite. Glamorgan were 135 for 3 after 15. Stepping across and crunching it for 4. Lovely shot. Middlesex needed that. Boundary to alleviate a little bit of pressure, lift the mood. You can feel that the crowd were really rocking here at Northwood, just quieten down a little. Again, loads of experience. 104 unbeaten is his highest T20 score, Milan. An 80 which it looked like would help Middlesex the other evening, but a defeat for them there at Southampton.
Middlesex could do with 50 of them now.
Doesn't get hold of that one. Full toss, just misses out. Milan. Gripping game of 2020 cricket at Merchant Taylor's School. Noses back in front for Glamorgan after their second highest T20 total. Middlesex asked to go well beyond their highest. Low full toss again. Well, actually, it was quite a high full toss. Just the single. Holman thumps the pad with his bat in frustration. 2 new batters at the crease.
Run rate up to 15 and over.
103 was scored off the last 5 overs by Glamorgan. Low full toss again. Milan swings it away for a single. Just 7 off the over. 1 to come. Holman's got to go big, you fancy here.
Well, you just watch those 2 deliveries, and when Cook and Ingram were at the crease, they'd have both gone to the boundary, wouldn't they? Maybe even for 6s, the way they were striking the ball so cleanly.
Sovold. That's well played. Down the hill it goes, which takes some catching. Caught it up they have. 2 runs. Holman moves to 4. Guess just took a little bit of the sting off it with the angle. It tucked him up. Did well to get it away for something though. 4 from 6 for Holman. Middlesex 177 for 3. Still ahead of Glamorgan on the worm, but it's a lot of runs to score. 15.5.
It is. We just see that Middlesex worm flattening out there since the dismissal of Cracknell. The line is pretty steep going up, but it's just sort of tapered off a little bit. Middlesex need to get it going, and that's going to require a big over. 20. We saw Tom Helm go for probably going for mid-20 runs in each of his last 2 overs. Middlesex need a 25 run over here, really, to give themselves a chance, you feel, of chasing down these 62 runs.
Yeah, they were 135 for 3 after 15, Glamorgan. After 16, they were 153 for 3. 18 runs off the 16th, 13 runs off the 17th. Bowled by Anderson. The 18th, 25 runs bowled by Helm. 20 runs off Higgins, bowling the 19th. And 27 off that final over. .72 off the last 3 overs.
So Hotsoglu obviously trying to take that catch, I think, has injured his finger. Down on the deep square leg boundary. Having a bit of treatment there. Fortunately for him, it's on his left hand, so not affect his bowling hand, but the way he tosses the ball from one hand to the other. I suppose in a sort of need a hygiene. You don't want any blood to get on the ball. Umpires there looking at their watches. I don't know whether Glamorgan are tight to the time.
Douthwaite was running back in that last over, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. So we'll see whether there are any allowances.
That's Oglu's final over. for 25 off 3 so far. The most economical of the bowlers at 8.3. So Sodia went for 34 off his 4, 8.5. Picking up a couple of wickets. Stephen Eskenazi for 59, Max Holden for 11. That's Oglu who removed Cracknell. Big over this. Miss hit for a single for Milan. Just think of all those overs that started racking up around this stage, and even just before it actually, consecutive overs of boundaries, first ball of the overs.
Well, if you're conceding 72 in 3 overs, you're going to struggle to win many games, really. I mean, to fall apart or to concede that many runs in such a short period of time is difficult for any batting side to cope with.
It's a drop catch right at the start of it, wasn't there, from Milan? Oh, Holman looking to reverse. Darted across him. Dot balls and ones stacking up here for Middlesex at the end. 61 from 22.
Yeah, we were complimenting, certainly once Eskenazi and Cracknell got going, the fact that they weren't trying to overhit the ball, but I think that's something we're seeing now from the players that come in. Max Holder maybe a little bit with the shot he got out to, trying to hit too far. Peter Milan, and here with Luke Holman, 4 off 7 deliveries so far.
Oh, dances down, missed stump him. It was a quicker ball by Hatzoglu. By signals. By singles. Not enough for Middlesex. They need those boundaries. They're going to need their overseas to come up with something pretty special here, you fancy. Bowls him. Milan looking to heave it out of northwards. Leg stump rocked back by the Aussie. And the South African has to go. Hatzoglu has his second wicket. Glamorgan have their 5th.
Well, sadly for Middlesex, he's all got a bit desperate here. Huge heaves rather than controlled strokes, but that's what happens when you're needing 15 runs and over. And again, the wicket's important, but it's another dot ball. Just watch that run rate go up and up and up. Cheers to the Glamorgan. First time of it, Glamorgan. Ryan Higgins come to the crease. Very strong, powerful hitter of the ball, but he's going to have to produce something special. 3 a ball. Middlesex need.
Bumps a single into the offside. One to come of the over, just 3 off the 17th. A stark contrast to how the final few overs were going for Glamorgan, but we saw on that worm a few moments ago 3 early wickets and then the partnership for Glamorgan. Middlesex, a big partnership early. 3, now 4 coming quickly at the end. Hatzoglu's final ball. Holman hits a single down to long on. 181 for 4. Middlesex need 58 off the last 3.
Yeah, it's slipped away from Middlesex this game, hasn't it? Well, you could argue it slipped away in those last 10 overs, maybe less than that, last 5 overs. 100 runs were scored. But they've made a fantastic effort in response to chasing down 238. But as the wickets have fallen, the stroke plan has got more desperate, and the lack of decent contact has been made. You could also compliment Glamorgan's bowlers. They've obviously held it together quite a bit better than Middlesex's at this stage of the innings.
Yeah, built to the crescendo, didn't it? Byram 7, North East 6, Carlson 16, 92 Ingram, 113 Cook, and then you go into this innings, Eskenazi 59, Crackle 77. Kilroy back into the attack, went for 13 and over off his first two.
Yes, run.
All overthrow, and they're through. Slipping a slide from Cook. Glamorgan Centurion. Can something just get them going here, Middlesex? 2 off the first of the over, 56 off 17.
Well, they need 3, well, just to get, as you say, to get it going, they need 3 or 4 balls where the ball goes to the boundary in a row.
Look for 2 again here, Root, at deep mid-wicket. They're going to come back. Throw will go to the wicket-keeper's end, will it? Yes, it will, and they're through. Holman on to 9. 185 for 4.
But again, that's a full toss. If you're going to win it, that's got to go over our heads and into the car park behind us.
Holman, of course, had that over, that cameo. Well, it was more than a cameo, wasn't it? He looked to have won it on Monday against Gloucestershire. Underneath that one, so 2 is mid-off. Holds on to the catch. 5th goes for Middlesex. Holman departs, not to be a cameo for him today. Middlesex's chase falling at the last here.
I've just seen there, sliced the ball, hasn't he? There, just not a clean hit. You saw Ingram, everything behind it, depositing it back over the sight screen for 6. So welcome to the crease, Jack Davis, coming to keep wicket, replaces John Simpson. Come and have some fun. It's a good rule change, this one, that they've changed, isn't it? The fact that when you're out caught like that, even if the batter's cross, it's still the new batter that faces the next delivery.
That was Taylor taking the catch, just had to confirm it. Subfielder on. Hatsoglu's gone off after that injury. Bowled his final over and was out of there. One from one for the pair. Middlesex starting again. 72 were scored off the last 3 overs by Glamorgan. Middlesex didn't have quite that much to score, but they didn't have 2 set batters either. Low full toss picks out the fielder. Just the 6 off the over so far. 1 ball to come. Again, Davis coming in. 1 from 1. Everything's got to go now for Middlesex. Bounce up from McElroy to finish the over. Just the 6 off it. Davis looking to find something. Scoop, a paddle. All the things he's capable of. Dot ball though. 12 to go. 52 to win. 187 for 5.
Well, as you always say, it's the hope that kills you, isn't it? And for sort of 12, 13 overs, the hope was genuinely there for Middlesex. Made an absolutely fantastic effort of chasing down this huge total, but Glamorgan's bowlers have stuck to their task and have come through. It's sort of petering out. Unfortunately, 2 overs to go. You never say never, but it's looking like Glamorgan are going to win this by 20 or 30 runs.
Well, just to put it into perspective, what Middlesex were looking at, the highest chase, or the highest total batting second in this country, 233 for 6 by Sussex at Chelmsford in 2022, and they lost. Highest winning total. Middlesex 227 for 4 at Somerset Taunton in 2019. Should have remembered that. Oh, Morgan. Stepping across outside of the off stump, it was angling across. Chipped. Thinking about two, just a single. Oh. Well, slammed into the batter at the non-striker's end, and if that's to sum up the chase for Middlesex at the end, Davis thumps it back into Higgins at the non-striker's end, just hits him on the thigh. 191 for 5. To wide. Jathwaite's still running back here at the end as well, which I'm quite sure that maybe some of those big shots Middlesex were going for, they quite picked up on the fact that there might have been pick up on the fact that perhaps it would be a player in at the end. That's well bowled again. Nothing Higgins can do with that. Well, it was sensational from Cook. Sensational from Ingram. It's enough to win this one here at Merchant Taylors School. Could be another wicket. Oh, gets through Roots. Well, at this stage, he had the right to go for it. Glamorgan have got this 1-1. End of the 19th. Middlesex 192 for 5.
Yeah, welcome boundary for Higgins, just to get him going a bit, but it's not going to change the result of this game. Middlesex will try and 43 to win. Need a no ball free hit and a bit more to get over the line here, but I suppose you sit here and you look at it from Middlesex perspective, and how can the bowlers concede so many runs, but equally you then look at the way that Cook and Ingram did strike that ball, and it was a stunning display of striking. It's almost like being in a driving range, wasn't it? Watching the way that Cook certainly hit helm 2 or 3 times, well more than that, 4 or 5 times probably, down towards the lake end of the ground here. But as a bowling side, you've got your plans, you've got your little notes in your pocket, which the players have got in their little envelopes. They've got sort of their game plans where they're supposed to be bowling at bowlers. And where batters are looking to hit you. Part of this job is you've got to be able to meet the challenge, haven't you? And Middlesex's bowlers were unable to do that at the end of the innings. And to say, Glamorgan's bowlers, full credit to them, they're under pressure till about the 14th over.
Looking. Cracknell fell, final ball of the 12th over, 146 for 1, last ball of the 12th over, and then Eskenazi was gone 5th ball of the 13th. That's a pick up. Helps the net run rate, but nothing more at this stage. 200 in sight for Middlesex, which is extraordinary. Just short of the 6 for Higgins. But yeah, 146 without loss after 11.5. Pressure was massively on Glamorgan. Down the grounds for 6. 11 off the over. Higgins just helping the net run rate here, but nothing much more at this stage. Cheering what's left of the crowd.
But again, you look at some of the sort of strokes that I suppose Middlesex turned to a little bit at times, reverse sweeps and all these sort of shots. You're looking at Ingram and Cook, they were just looking straight down the ground, trusting themselves, like Higgins there, getting a good clean strike on the ball.
I was going to say that the 146 without loss after 11.5. Middlesex were in the game, but you knew a couple of wickets. Should just be a single more for it. A couple of wickets for a side who are obviously going to be short on confidence early in the group stage, isn't it? But 3 defeats. There's obviously going to be batters who aren't exactly walking on air stepping out there at that point.
Well, and you've got to go from ball one. But that's the game.
Final ball, single down to long off. In fact, what is he? Not even a deep mid off. Davis moves to 4. Higgins has 19. Glamorgan have a fantastic win by 29 runs here at Merchant Taylor School. An outstanding display of hitting from Cook and Ingram. Put together an extraordinary partnership from 51 for 3 to 238 for 3.